Hi, I'm Dr. Catherine Masitsa from Samantha's Bridal, and you're watching Woman Without Limits.
Don't let what you've done hinder you. Don't you let where you've been hinder you. Don't let what they've said hinder you. Don't you let your past hinder you. You're a woman without limits. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Woman without limits. Yes, you are. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. You're a woman without limits. Woman without limits. Na 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 na. Woman without limits. Woman.
Good evening, viewers. You're welcome to Woman Without Limits. My name is Reverend Kiuna, and it's always such a delight to have you tune into our program. I believe and I know for sure that the Lord has been blessing you. I want to thank you so much for all the feedback. I thank you so much for getting back to us and letting us know that we are truly affecting your lives. Now, Woman Without Limits is nothing but transformational. We love to transform people's lives. We talk about many women. I mean, we brought diverse women from all walks of life. And we've shown you how you can start from the very bottom, but God is faithful. He can keep raising you up until you get to where you're going. First, I need you to understand something, that you are a woman without limits, and nothing can stop you but you yourself. How do you stop yourself? By believing you're nothing. By believing you can go nowhere, by believing your background is a hindrance to your future, by believing your past can just not make you be able to handle what God has for you. But remember this, that we all were created with a purpose and for a purpose. So you're not here empty. There is something within you that the world needs. When you decide to wake up, pick yourself up, square your shoulders, and walk like a woman without limits, nobody can stop you. Tonight we have this wonderful woman. She's going to be giving us her story. Many of you know her because you've heard or seen, watched, This woman is on air bringing some amazing stories about different people. And today we want to hear. She's always at the background. She's always just telling us about other people. So today we want to hear who is Catherine of Samantha Bridal. Catherine, you are so welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's so good to have you on Woman Without Limits, and I'm so delighted that you could make it.
Thank you.
Yeah? So today, first and foremost, you're looking beautiful.
Thank you.
From head to toe.
You too.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to find out, and I believe that's what the viewers are about to ask you right now. I'm asking you on their behalf. Who is Catherine? Where are you coming from? We just see this wonderful woman with no hair at all. Lupita has a little. You decided to go the other way. We're going to talk about your hair shortly. But who is Catherine?
Wow, Catherine is very many things, depending on what you want to know.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm a mother to a little girl called Andrea.
Uh-huh.
I am a wife to a wonderful man. His name is Andrash.
Uh-huh.
And then I am a businesswoman. You already know what I do.
Yes.
I run the Samantha's Bridal, the brand.
Yeah, right.
And I live in the community. I'm a daughter. I'm very many things, actually.
Yes, very many things. An auntie, I'm sure.
Yes, all those things. That's what I'm saying. I am so many
things. So many things. But we want to know, before Samantha even began, where did you grow up? Did you grow up in the city? Were you all just looking all so fabulous? Where did you grow up? Did you go to school? All that.
Of course, I went to school.
Okay.
I am very learned.
Good girl. Good for you.
And I was an A student.
Wow.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So growing up, I was born in a little village in Kakamega, in a place called Lukosi.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents divorced when I was like 2 years old.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
And but in those days, you know, anyone who knows the Luya culture, they're very paternal. Very paternal.
I hear the men can never leave their children,
Never.
no matter where they go.
In fact, never.
Wow.
Never.
So your father took you up?
Yeah, so I grew up with my father. Then
Yeah.
he was working in Eldoret. So we went to live together, me and my sister. I have a sister
Okay.
who is older than me. So I was brought up by a single father.
Wow.
Yes.
Did he get married at a young age also?
Later on, he got married.
While you were
Maybe
young?
I was around about 13 or 12, 13.
Okay.
There. That's he remarried again.
But basically for the better part of your life,
Yes.
your father brought you up alone.
Yes, and that has, you know, when I look back, it has really impacted my life in very many ways. Yes. You know, when he had an 8 to 5 job.
Okay.
He comes back. It used to be like around about 4 o'clock. Washes the children. He takes us to there was an evening class, some evening classes, and then he goes maybe to drink. Then we go back home. Then we have dinner together. But you know, we had like 3 plates in the house. This is so funny. You know how men are so simple, yeah? So we had 1 plate for ugali, 1 for vegetables, and 1 for we live very simple.
Yeah.
Because he's a simple guy.
A simple man, yeah.
You know, the way bachelors live.
Yes.
Yeah, so we ate like from the same plate, from the same, so
What?
we are very close.
Wow, but
We
that's
are
beautiful.
really, I am so close to my father.
Right.
Yes.
And you know, they say that girls who grow up with their fathers, they are very confident in life.
Oh my goodness. I think I'm very confident. I can say that. I'm
Okay.
really, really confident.
Wow.
As in, he really instilled, my father was like, even if it's class, I remember on the closing day, I would find him seated right outside the house. He would be there at 12 o'clock.
Right.
Where's your report card? What do you mean you came number 2? That person who was number
Hello?
1, were they being chased out of? So from a very young age,
What?
there was nothing like coming second, and you'd get beaten for
For
that.
coming second.
Yes, you had to explain, where were you? What was that? So, as in, I knew that, and he instilled that there's nothing you can't do.
You have to be the best at
You
what you
must be the best. For as long as you have an education, it is the best gift I can give you, he used to say. And I became very confident.
do. Wow.
I
And your
am
sister
thoroughly-
also very clever?
Yes, she was.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And she is also in her own right. She's brought up children.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful. So that's how you grew up. Went to school and became a student.
Yes, and then what he used to do is that when we closed school, those days, not very long time ago, but
Yeah.
those days,
Yeah.
we would close in April and in August. Closing day, you all pack, you go to the village.
Okay.
Yes. So then you interact with the grandmother. The best thing was going to herd animals in the forest.
Wow.
Because we live right near the Kakamega forest.
You're talking about you.
I am talking about,
With your pretty looking self.
yes,
Uh-huh.
to go and herd animals. And you know, Luyas, we name animals. My best animal, there was Leslie, then there was Maridadi. They were pets. To us, they were pets. So you go in the forest the whole day, you're playing,
You're talking
you're
now
doing
about
many
the
things.
cows and the sheep. You
Yes.
call them Jane
Yes.
and all those names.
Yes, they had
Wow.
names. Yes.
Okay.
And then they have this bell. Yesterday on BBC, I was hearing
Yeah.
the Swedish people have that thing and on the bells.
Okay.
And it's a heritage for them. Even in Kakamega, they have bells.
Okay.
So when you hear, you know your bell. So because sometimes the cows have gone in a different part of the forest, the children are busy playing, climbing trees in a different
so the
part.
bells were for distinguishing them.
You distinguish them.
Okay.
You distinguish them. Yeah. And I believe that kind of upbringing, you know, the being able to interact, do play, and just be out there. I believe I'm very creative.
Wow.
I think really cultivated my creative side. I think I'm a qualified veterinarian.
Oh,
So the doctor
I was
is-
just about actually to ask you, your Dr. Catherine. I mean, did you buy it from the internet? Because nowadays, I mean,
No.
everybody.
No, I didn't buy it.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, I went to Butere Girls. As you know,
Okay.
Butere Girls, even right now,
It's a
a
high
national
standard
school.
school, yeah.
Yes, I was a good student.
Yeah.
And after that, I went to the School of Veterinary Medicine, Nairobi University, which, by the way, many people may not know. We set up, as Kenya, the Nairobi School, the School of Veterinary Medicine, did help set up the Botswana.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
From Nairobi?
Even Namibia. So these people, you know, they don't have these transboundary diseases. They can export their meat. They can do so many things we can't do. I know we fell back as a country sometime with the standards, but we picked up.
Okay.
So this is like one of the best schools in the world.
In Nairobi?
Yes. The
Are you
School of
serious?
Veterinary Medicine is like one of the best in the world.
Wow, that's
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So
So you inject
what I want to
animals
say-
and do all manner of things to animals.
and you're wondering why I ended up in the vet class.
Yeah.
I should have been in KU doing arts.
I know. How did you end up there?
Because my high school teacher said I wanted to do medicine. You know, growing up again, who are the people you see around you? Yeah? I just remember there was a vet who used to come with the Land Rover.
Okay.
And then we didn't have
And then
so
with
many
all the
role
animals that you were taking
models.
care of anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, if someone had taken a keener interest, because when I was young, as early as 8 years old, I could knit. I'm really good, by the way. I can knit with the crochet, I can knit sweaters, I can do so many creative things. I could make something for myself. Then someone would have picked up.
Yeah.
But my father was trying his best. He really did a fantastic
Yes, and then
job.
schooling you like that. And
Yes.
then, you know, even just pushing you to
Yes.
do better.
I could have gone to the art school.
Right.
That's where I belong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you went and did the veterinary, and then after that, you saw that it wasn't your line?
What really happened?
Yeah.
People usually find themselves. Normally, people, even if you don't follow your path,
Yeah.
sometimes naturally
You will find yourself.
You just find yourself. So what happened is that we graduate, and then we all go our ways. I was now practicing at a small veterinary clinic. I was very good in small animals, you know, pets, cats. I still have some clients, but not in a big way.
Yeah.
I'm no longer in serious clinical practice right now. And then one day, my friend comes to the clinic with what? A brand new car. Brand new.
Wow.
What? She just got a job.
Yeah.
Where? With a pharmaceutical company. I said, no, that's what I want to do.
Come on.
So I thank God
Yeah.
that I was able to join Pfizer Pharmaceuticals,
Okay.
which is like,
It's huge.
it is the world leading
Yeah.
research-based pharmaceutical company. And I learned a lot of things from there. I learned how to sell, how to present myself. I learned very many things.
So you were enjoying.
I really enjoyed marketing.
Okay.
It is nice. And then I did a master's in business administration. Then I was trying to find myself. And then later on, I worked with the European Union in rural development and decided to launch into business.
Okay.
Yes.
So all this time, are you thinking about the design and the art, what you're good at? Are you thinking about that? Or you're so busy in the veterinary that you're fine?
I more expressed it perhaps in fashion,
Okay.
how I dressed up,
Yeah.
in other things, maybe house interior design. But later on, it is a matter of, I was looking for financial independence.
Okay.
And then I just met my husband. Then he was a boyfriend.
Okay. Okay.
And then he lived in a different town. And then it came to the time that he had to leave Kenya. And so he went to the Indian Ocean. He was running an offshore medical university.
Okay.
And we just couldn't get time together. We just couldn't get time to be together.
Wait,
the main-
let's reverse a little. I know your husband is white. Did you meet him in Kenya?
I met him in Kenya.
Okay.
He was actually a client.
Yeah.
What happened was that he was at Eldoret. He was running, they had just set up. So he was helping set up the psychiatry and neurology department
Okay.
at Eldoret.
He's a
Moi
neurologist,
University.
yeah?
He's a neurologist now.
Okay.
So he was helping set up that department. At the time, they had just started. So I went to market to him our products. Because what happens with pharmaceutical companies, new molecules are always coming up.
Okay.
So always you need people who will go and talk to the doctors about this new molecule that has come up, how is it better than the other one, and so that was my job.
Okay.
To keep a network with medical doctors and tell them about the new inventions of Pfizer Pharmaceuticals.
Right.
So I walked into his office.
Okay. Did you have hair?
No, I didn't. That's another story. I had hair.
Okay.
I had hair at the time.
Okay.
Yes. So I walked right into his office, and for some strange reason, I was trying to talk to him then. Then he was a professor.
Okay.
A young professor.
Yeah.
Then. So I was talking to him, and he's like, I already know. I know that one.
Yeah.
I already know. Tell me something new. So then I thought, because he was in a very influential position, teaching medical students, these are the people who then go on and influence. And then what happens when you're a professor, a medical professor, the other younger doctors also pick, what are you prescribing, what are you then, and you know, in the medical world, that little sheet of paper you're normally given to take to the pharmacy, it makes companies fall and rise. It is extremely important. So when the doctor writes that, then they are dispensed. That is what makes this company has made profits, the other one did not make profits. So you want the doctor to write your medicine by name.
Right.
Yeah. And so I went back to the office and I told my boss then that, you know, there's this new professor I've met.
Meanwhile, are you feeling anything, or you're
no,
just
completely nothing.
You're just working.
Nothing.
Catherine.
I am completely.
Catherine.
Yes, I tell you. So then he equipped me with how we actually are going to. So tell me, go with this clinical paper. This, you see, the way you talk to a professor is not the same way you talk to a newly graduated student, medical student. So in another 3 weeks, I went. Equipped. Now I have this clinical paper, I have this paper, and I have this one. So we did, and when I reached there, I already know it.
Yeah.
I already know it. But he wasn't lying, because now we are married.
Yeah.
He reads very widely. He is so on top of things.
Yeah.
So he reads really widely.
He has knowledge.
He has a
from
lot
here
of
to
knowledge.
Timbuktu. Yeah.
Yeah. So he already knew that. But I remembered in the last visit, he asked me, "Are you always very busy?" Then I said, yeah, I'm very busy, like from here. That was Eldoret.
Right.
And I needed to go to Kitale and go to another town. So he asked me again, are you very busy? Then I said, yes, I am busy. But he said, so if someone wanted to buy you like lunch, dinner or something. I said, that's possible. But you see, I had been trained to deal with this kind of things.
Right.
You know, you have to remember this time, I was doing a master's in business administration, and I was determined to be the CEO of Pfizer.
Hello.
That time.
Hello.
I was determined at that time.
To take
I remember,
over.
I think I was crazy or something. I remember walking into my boss's office and telling him now, in fact, to both, one had been there 13 years, the other one had been there 20 years. And they hadn't moved in their position. The other one was a marketing manager. I was in sales and marketing. The other one was the general manager. So I told them, if you guys don't move, where do you think the rest of us people are going to go?
So you need to move and create space for us.
Who does that?
No, you are Catherine.
I actually walked into their office. I told them, you need to move, or you need to create possibilities for us
growth.
Because I think I was on fire or something. I even remember applying to the UK. Within Pfizer, just within the Pfizer, all over the world, I applied in South Africa, and the letters would come back and they would be sent to the office. And my boss would come down to the office.
Like, are you really?
You applied for this position? Because you would go, like, when you get like the economist, or you see the positions that are actually open. So I would just apply, and they would send the replies to the Kenya office.
And your boss would see.
I would see. So, I mean, going out in any romantic affiliation with a doctor was out of bounds. Out of bounds. I did not want to be known like that girl who slept her way up, because these rumors abound. And at the time, for some strange reason, pharmaceutical companies were not employing women. No, they were not.
Really?
And I'm talking 96.
What?
I'm talking 96, yes. 94,
So you had
96.
to be too good to even be considered.
No, in fact, how I got my job at Pfizer is that they advertised. And because I knew what was going on, that they just don't employ. So I remember calling the person who was doing the interviews, who became my boss. I said I wanted to meet him, but it was too important for me to discuss with him on the phone. So he gave me a meeting. I said, I've seen this ad. I know even if I apply, you'll not take me, but I want to dare you to give me an interview. And I was called for the interview.
Catherine, somebody watching you is getting encouraged. Like they don't need to sit back and just wallow in self-pity because of,
Yes.
not getting a job. You stood up and said, you're giving me the position.
Yeah. So I went for the interview. I had the papers, and it was a competitive interviewing. And I remember at that time we were employed two ladies, one who is late right now, and myself. Yeah, so for the first time, they were never employing women, because I think the argument was that because it involved a lot of traveling, so you'll get pregnant, and what will happen. So a lot of pharmaceutical companies were not employing women in the sales and marketing departments.
Okay.
No, you would be employed if you're a pharmacist, as a pharmacist who is seated
just
there.
stuck there, that's okay.
But any job that involved a lot of traveling, I mean, we've come a long way. I see today's women, I think they need to realize we've come a long way. There used to be that
now the highway is open.
Yeah.
So there used to be that time that
there
it was impossible.
Very many things we take for granted, and I think women should not take it for granted. They have to grab these opportunities, really grab them, and know that there was a time when what looks so ordinary was not really, it wasn't. There are certain freedoms we enjoy right now, but there are women who went ahead of us. They paid the price.
Right.
So we should not take them for granted.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So at that time, when of course I'm meeting now my husband, who is
and he's asking, do you have time like for coffee?
And
you're thinking.
But you see, the thing is, we had been trained and equipped. If a client wants to go for dinner, of course you go for dinner, but just pay for it.
Right.
The one thing I loved about this company was that it was a 5-star life. You had a company credit card. Don't go to cheap restaurants, cheap hotels, because nobody's going to refund your money.
Hey, okay.
So I said, that's fine, for as long as I pay the bill.
Yes.
So we went for dinner, and for some strange reason, everybody in the pharmaceutical industry was down in Eldoret that day. I remember our competing company, that was SmithKline and Beecham, now GlaxoSmithKline, was launching a competing drug.
Okay, at the same place.
At the same place. So we having dinner and whatever, and for that day I was wearing a strapless dress.
Okay.
And it was very cold, so he insisted he has to bring for me a cardigan. I said no. The next day in the morning, everybody is down for breakfast. I see he's arriving at the hotel with a big bunch of flowers and in a paper bag, a cardigan for me. And everyone saw. Before I arrived in Nairobi, everybody knew Catherine is dating that guy.
Oh my God.
And that was just like, oh God.
Meanwhile, there was nothing.
As in, there was nothing.
He just decided to be a gentleman. But he gave you flowers, Catherine, so he had something. He had something up his sleeve.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But as they say, the rest is history.
Okay.
We started dating. Yeah, so that began my history of actually leaving the format, because he proposed 2 weeks later. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh my God, don't even touch that dial. What? You're welcome back. You're watching Woman Without Limits. We are today hosting Catherine of Samantha Bridal, and she has an amazing, amazing story coming from a mighty long way. God is a good God.
So now I'm like, huh? So, at that time I'm like,
wait
a minute.
Hurry up slowly.
What are you hiding that you don't want me to know?
Yeah.
So it took me the next 7 years trying to find out what is he hiding. Why does he want to propose quickly?
Yeah.
So that I say, yes, we finish this thing.
Yes.
I was just a little bit nervous that 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
this
even.
Is too soon. Let's
Yes.
go slow.
So,
okay.
I had demand for many things. I need to meet your parents.
Yes.
I found even he has a stronger, I mean, his parents are still together.
Oh, wow.
His father is like 92 this year, he's 92. His mother is 87.
Wow.
They are not in any old people's home, you know, a lot of Europeans.
Yeah.
They are so active. They are really, really active.
Yes.
He survived the Auschwitz. His father survived the Auschwitz.
Right.
He's still really strong. And they're together.
Wow.
So he had a much more, even stronger family
than even
background
you.
that I had.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said, yes, let's do this.
So now
7 years later, Catherine?
Yeah. So what happened now in terms of, because you asked why I left the industry. So now I was thinking, I don't want to say yes because I was so like determined.
Yeah.
I am going to become the CEO of Pfizer.
Yeah.
And I was not joking with nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like you.
So,
I totally like you.
So I said, then I thought about it. I said, you know, with a company, jobs you can always leave. But suppose he's the one. So he asked me, suppose I'm the one. At the same time, I was like, now if I say yes, I'll just feel because I'm being pushed because of the industry.
Right.
So I had to, now I said, let me just leave. Let me just leave this whole industry. Let me start afresh, completely afresh, and make my decision of yes.
With a sober mind.
With a very sober mind.
Right.
With a very sober mind. I mean, given my background, my parents divorcing when I was 2 years old, I mean, really, the one thing I was determined, I'm going to make it work.
You didn't want to go
better.
the same direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had to leave everything behind and start afresh. So I had a 1 year stint with at a veterinary company. I was in charge of the technical manager for the continent. And the guy I worked for was mad, literally. Literally. But he had made a good business all over the world. And I said, I'm never going to work for nobody. I am clever. I am smart.
You have what it takes.
Nobody is ever going to stress me, ever, like this, because the turnover was so high in this company. It was a very good life because I traveled and lived 5-star. As in, if I was traveling, if I was going to Mombasa, I would use first class. If I was going to, the company was based in Ireland. It was a good life, but very stressful. So I said, I am going, if mad people like this can use clever people like us to make money, I am going to make my own money. So I decided I'm going to go into business. That's how I started.
And you ventured out.
And I was ready for any business idea that came. If it was road construction,
you are ready.
I wish I thought of road construction and real estate at that time.
You know, because I mean, now with our highways, you probably have fallen somewhere.
So what happens over dinner, some friends were visiting from my husband's country. He's from Hungary. And so I didn't know where to take them. I was busy traveling up and down. And so, isn't there a place we can go to for dinner or something? And I used to take them to the same place. And I said, that's it. That's the business idea. I'm getting into publishing. I'm launching a magazine called Going Out. That's going to tell people where to go to for whatever.
Yeah.
And I launched into business.
Yes.
I went and resigned the next day. But God was like, you must be such a silly girl.
Yeah.
Because I remember that day my sister told me, no, do not resign. She said she's going to fast and pray for me. So the day I resign is the day I get a phone call from the European Union. Yeah, because at that time to get someone who has private sector experience and somebody who is a vet, we were not very many MBAs at the time.
Okay.
So I got in rural development, so I was together with the advisor for the rural development. We were working together for projects funded by the European Union.
Okay.
There's fisheries, there was research, there was quite a number of projects, privatization of veterinary. So it was within but I had said nobody's gonna
employ you again?
Ever.
Yeah.
After my contract was over at 3 years, after 3 years I said, because I had already started my business. I was paying people. So it was at a stage that either you continue to work or the other business fails.
Collapses. Yeah, obviously.
And I had put in so much money into the business. I said goodbye.
You said forget it.
So here I am.
Yeah.
And now
So
we
you
are so
started the magazine
after
now.
that, yes.
Yeah.
After that now, how many years are those?
Yeah.
I'm telling. So I said, I guess he's the one.
Yeah. Oh. Because now he's waited like what, 8 years now?
Yes, and we are doing so many things together.
Yeah.
He's encouraging me.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Our lives are so much together.
You thought, well, we might as
So
well.
we decided to do it. So
Yeah.
we went, we paid dowry.
Yeah.
And that is 2003, we are getting married. So after that, the businesswoman I am, I realized, hiya, who is helping all these corporate women? Look, I was working at the EU, dealing with very busy projects.
Okay.
I was running a company, I'm planning a wedding. So you can imagine I would be in my office at 6 o'clock, have a meeting with my team like by 7:30, by 8:30, 8 o'clock, I'm at Undragati Road at the EU.
Right.
Then by 5 o'clock, I need to come and catch up with my team. So how did
About the wedding event?
No, about the magazine.
About the magazine.
Which
and then,
I was running.
Yeah.
So I thought, wow, I'm a busy bride.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult in terms of the information wasn't as available. And then I said, that's it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to launch other things
Okay.
and grow the business. So that's how Samantha came into being. When I was
So now-
planning my own wedding.
Is when you thought about Samantha.
Yes.
So how did you think about, I mean, like your wedding made you open up your eyes?
Yeah.
Because of the planning and all that, or what?
Well, yes. The wedding did open up, but though I used my own wedding, I said I'm not getting a planner. I'm going to use my own wedding
As the planner.
Yes.
And then you launch into your thing.
Yes.
To help others to
Yes.
plan.
I wanted to understand, what does it really mean to be a bride?
Okay.
And because of that, you know, I can look at a bride and I can know what is going on in her mind.
What?
Yes, because you see, I've been through it.
Yeah.
I was through it.
Yeah.
And before I launched, so I knew exactly how this publication is going to be, and I had already made a lot of mistakes with the previous publication. So this one, I had to get it right.
Yeah.
Now, when we went to press, it was, I think we had sold over 4 million worth of advertising. Now tell me even today,
What?
which magazine sells that?
Are you serious?
When we launched, yes. When we launched Samantha, we went to press with over 4 million worth of advertising.
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
That's big.
That was
and in
more
that
than 10
time,
years ago. 10
more than-
years ago. Yes.
So now,
Because I had made all the mistakes I needed to make
yes,
with
yeah.
the previous publication.
Yes.
I was through. I mean,
You were done.
When you hear the name Samantha's Bridal, you will never hear the word free used in the same sentence. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't, nothing.
Maybe you can tell somebody who's watching
In the
why.
same sentence.
Why?
Because, you know, if you're going to wake up, yeah, either you're going to give value, and if someone is seeing value in your product, they are willing to pay.
Yeah.
You know, in my previous publication, when we started, we were charging like, that was 10 years ago, like 40,000 a page to advertise. Then one morning I woke up, there was another competing publication I discovered. Hiya, they're charging 100,000. That is like 10 years ago.
Right.
Per page to advertise. And they've not just taken one page, they've actually taken the full year, 12 months. So it's 1.2 million worth of advertising. This is 10 years ago. Then I realized it's actually not about the money.
Yeah.
And then even when you watch TV, sometimes, when you see like an ad running, like for example, a minute, that ad, first of all, to produce costs a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And then that minute, they could be paying over 1 million or 2 million. Just that
minute.
the 30
of
seconds.
advertising.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know that ad is running for a lot of, in a day, it's running
Over
more
and
than
over and over.
over and over and over.
Yeah.
Then I realized half the time it's never about money.
Yeah.
It's really never about money. It's about the value.
The value of that
When
brand.
you give people value,
Yeah.
you will sell. The money will come.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's true.
The money
It's
will
true.
just come
Yeah.
if you give value.
They say kizuri chajiuza.
Yes.
So it will just sell by itself, by the way, as long
Yes.
as there is value and people know if I buy this, this is going to change my life.
Yes.
They're going to do it.
So we strived to give value to
Yeah.
the advertiser
Right.
and to give value also to the reader. Because remember, I had been a bride.
Right.
anyone who got married at that time, that was the Bible.
Yes.
To date, I meet people in the supermarket, yeah, this is a Samantha baby.
Yeah. Wow.
12 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
So I had made all the mistakes I needed to make. So when we launched,
Samantha Bridal, you launched big.
Yeah. It was a very big launch.
Right.
At in a 5-star hotel. We had like the whole industry came. We had sponsorship. We did launch big.
Right.
And we've never looked back. Last year we celebrated 10 years of publishing.
Right.
And this year, right after that, after we launched the publication, we launched the wedding fair.
Yeah.
And which this year is going to be celebrating also 10 years, coming in February.
Yes, by the way. And how about this, the older people who have been married? You've been doing that now on Samantha. Amazing.
Yes. So what happened is that, we had the first Samantha's Bridal, the show, which is still airing on a different channel.
Yes.
And now we have this other one. And what happens is that I am very passionate about marriage. And, the family unit is being attacked.
Left, right,
and center.
Yeah.
And there are all these people, trying to get the Western statistics that, there are divorces, there are all these. Yes, there are divorces in Kenya happening.
Yeah.
But it is not to the rate that everybody wants to make us believe.
Yeah. The enemy, what he does, he takes something small and magnifies it.
Yes.
So it looks like everybody is divorcing, everyone is leaving each other, but that's not the case.
Yes. Actually, what I found out is that there are so many people who are happily married.
Exactly.
Like yourself.
Absolutely.
Like yourself when we aired you.
This is my 21st year and I'm having a ball. And I believe God that he's going to hold us together and we're going to continue having a good time together. Because honestly, marriage is work.
Yes.
But if you plan to work, God is going to help you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I remember when about 10 years ago, I came to one of your events which you had done at Safari Park.
Okay.
It was a couple's night.
Yes.
And I had been, a friend of one of your friends had said, let's go,
Invited
Pastor Kathy Kiuna is doing this.
Yeah.
And you were exactly
Yeah.
as you were on the show.
Yeah.
And for how long can you pretend?
Seriously.
I mean, for the
Honestly.
people who know you,
Yeah.
can you pretend for more than 20 years?
How? It's not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are happily married. You're one of the people. I can
thank
actually
God.
say you're happily. I'm happily married.
I thank God. Now you've been married 12 years.
12 years we've been married.
And you've known him for, you refused for 8? Or you
20.
held him at bay for 8 years?
20.
I mean, 20, yeah. Oh my goodness. Uh-huh.
We've known each other.
Yeah, for 20 years now.
Yes.
Isn't God amazing?
He is, and he has such a sense of humor.
He does, eh?
So amazing, yeah.
He does. So,
And we talk a lot.
Yeah.
He's like my best friend. We do things together.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows me, they know.
Yeah.
If you want Catherine to come, she comes as a package.
yes. With her
We
better.
can sit and talk and
Yeah.
talk and talk. And what helped me make a decision, because I'm one of those girls. And I think I need to say this because I have so many single friends.
Okay.
And I mean, okay, I was one of those girls who there was always someone marrying me. It's so funny. There was always someone.
Marrying you.
Yes.
Someone in the picture.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But because I know a lot of girls
Yeah.
choose somebody in terms of money, and they want to choose, okay, if somebody must have a lot of money in the
must have
bank.
a house, must have this, and it's very sad.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe in the starting together. I mean, that it's so powerful. If you can start together and build a home together, that's so solid. And that's what I tell Daughters of Zion.
Yes, and so at that time, so I had to I was a little bit confused.
Yeah.
And I had to make a decision. Now, this is how I made my decision. If I was somewhere on an island,
Yeah.
and finances was never part of my problem, you're supposed to make a decision. Who of these men would I choose?
If money was not even in the picture, anywhere.
If money was not in the picture.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be a richer man, and a richer one, and a richer
with a
one,
bigger car.
with a bigger car, with a bigger house, with a bigger this.
Yeah.
Yeah. there's always going to be those.
Yeah,
And,
they're always there, yeah.
yeah, and even in those years, you
Yeah.
know, in those 8 years when we were not married,
Right.
for as long as you're not married,
Yeah.
I mean, men are shameless.
Yes, yeah. They'll always
They want to
come.
hit on you, you know.
Yeah.
So I said, who of these? And actually it was my husband. I chose him because he's the one. I would like to be stuck on an island
Okay.
On
with
with-
him, just the two of you.
because we can talk.
Without a care in the world.
We can talk
Yeah.
and do all these things. Knowing him for 20 years, 12 of them married, we sit and talk and talk and talk and talk. We
Wow.
go to work
So
in the
he
same
helps you-
car.
yeah.
He's like my best friend.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
really, yeah.
That's
So we
exactly
are
what I
friends.
would say. That my husband is my best friend.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So he supports Samantha Bridal.
He supports like 100%.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Tell
He
me something.
supports.
Tell me something. For a woman that is starting off over, they just see Samantha Bridal. Even maybe they can't even afford the magazine right now because they look and they wonder, okay, how can I, you know? What would you advise them?
Just to start. Just start. You know,
Somewhere.
let me tell you something. If anyone had told me, because we've gone through tough times, really, really tough times. Yeah? Trying to get finances, because you start a business, it all sounds so easy.
Yeah.
But nobody really prepares you for
The hard
if
times.
anyone has sat me down
Yeah.
and told me, you know, one day you're gonna sleep hungry. Yeah. One day you're actually going to sit in the house. There's money out there, but you can't leave the house because you have no fuel in the car. Yeah. I mean, if anyone had really prepared me, one day your employees are going to walk out on you because you're late with the payroll.
You can't pay them. Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone prepared me for all those things, auctioneers are going to come at the door.
And take your things.
Yes. I would have never started. Because, you know, I was on a good job. I had very good jobs.
Right.
And really good jobs. I think people thought I was mad actually quitting
Even
employment
quitting. Yeah.
on a good salary. So
For you
if
to come out and start.
if anyone had prepared me that, you know, you're leaving this comfort for this, I would have not started. So what I
Right.
want to tell young people
Yeah.
is start.
Yeah.
Don't overanalyze things.
There is a challenge. It's gonna be difficult.
Yes.
It's not a walk in the park.
Yeah.
So obviously you're gonna pay some price.
Yes.
And a big price at that.
A very big price.
For you to get a name, you don't just get a name because you're beautiful.
Yes.
You get a name because you've worked hard.
Yeah. And you know, I know the other thing, even if you go to Harvard, which is like one of the world's leading business schools,
Universities. Yeah.
and you tell them, you give them a business case, and you tell them, I want to give me the advantages of doing this business, why it will fail, and give me why it will succeed. You will get answers in equal measure. Somebody will give you a very good study, why you're going to fail,
Yeah.
and another one will give you a good study, why you're going to succeed.
Yeah.
So choose to succeed, and just do it. Initially, when you start, of course, there are going to be people who are better than you,
Yeah.
people who understand it
And
better,
they'll always be there.
who will. I mean, when we launched into TV production, I didn't know nothing. Nothing. And, you know, I went to various production houses and they gave me all these quotes and everything, and that's why we didn't start earlier than we did. So one day I decided I'm just going to start.
Yeah.
And I started. Just started. I went to a hands-on film production, whatever, but my nature, creativity,
Right.
really helps. I'm behind the scenes in terms of trying to make sure the story is there. And then I also, within the whole madness of doing business, I discovered I actually love what I do.
Okay.
I love talking to couples.
Yes.
I say I'm going to live a long time,
Yeah.
a long, happy life. Because
Yeah.
every
You
day
hear
when
everything.
I love interviewing
Yeah.
couples, and I like to do it myself because these are beautiful love stories. Well, sometimes things don't always turn out perfect, but it's good to see these young people getting married, and more recently, the happily ever after.
That's what I was asking, because
God.
it's so beautiful to you know, see people that have been together 30 years, 20
50
years,
years.
50 years. Yeah.
And you see, so what worked, what didn't
Yeah,
work, and
yeah.
they're easy to talk about
Yeah.
it, the mistakes they made,
Yes.
and just learn from them. So I have
Wow.
no reason why I should fail
You
in any way,
can't.
because
You can't, yeah.
I get to talk to really great people. Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. You know what, Catherine? I love the fact that you're doing something so powerful. You know, marriage is the oldest institution in the Bible. And so when you now put it on Samantha Bridal and even now bring the old ones who have been married for many years and let people know how they can survive their own, that's powerful. That is actually a ministry that's going to go very far. Because people, every woman I know, okay, wants to get married, you know, or has been married, or is getting married. I mean, there is always, a woman is relational.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, a woman always wants to relate, you know? And so that's beautiful, yeah? And I want you to look at the camera and perhaps give your parting shot and just, you know, tell a young lady out there that's probably even planning to get married. What do you do at Samantha Bridal, by the way? Do you help young couples in any way?
Yeah, we do help young couples trying to get married. This is not something I normally do, what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it. And remember, we are running a business. The most important thing, if you choose to get married, cut your coat according to your fabric. Don't get stressed about money. I mean, you'd imagine I should be pushing you, spend as much money, we want you to spend and spend and spend. For as long as you're with the man you love, if you have money, then do a big wedding. Or do a small wedding, whichever you can afford. But remember, it is not just always about the money. But I also want to tell young women not just to move in. You know, the laws have changed, but it's not just about the laws changing. There's something about getting married and having witnesses.
Yes, in a proper manner.
There is something about that. Because when you go through the challenges, one of the things that might just hold you together is, what will I tell so and so?
Yeah.
All these people who came, what am I going to tell them?
Yeah.
When you wake up the next day after your wedding, there's something so different about it than just waking up. You just moved in through the back door. So it's different. So it's a very, very good thing to have your wedding blessed by God and go through all the legal requirements. The other thing, as you get married, it's not wedding related, but I'm gonna say it anyway. As you plan your career, as you plan your wedding, plan about children. It is something I've seen a lot of young women not doing. I know Kenya has the highest birth rate, but in equal measure, there are very many women who are struggling to get a child. So plan, if you want to have children, make it part of the plan and plan to have your children at least before 35.
You know, on time.
On time. Yeah.
Okay, may God bless you so much, Catherine. It's been so wonderful. I'm so delighted that you could come. And I believe that now people know the woman behind the Samantha Bridal. You're always the one asking questions. Now you're being asked. And I know that you've helped a lot of women. And especially to know that they can be career women and they can actually just follow their heart and start up from the bottom. And God can raise them up and help them to make it in life. God bless you so much.
Thank you.
Keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a marvelous work.
Thank you.
Okay. This is Woman Without Limits. We are so delighted that you could tune in. And I know without a shadow of doubt that you've gotten something. Now you know you don't need to get stuck up because you started somewhere. You need to just forget it and start where God wants you to be. You are a woman without limits and there's a purpose for your life. Make sure that whatever you do, you fulfill that purpose. You know, purpose is that thing that you do that you can repeat over and over again even if you're not paid. And guess what? At the end of the day, pay will come. Because when you find your vision, provision is in that vision. May the good Lord bless you and keep you. Have the most amazing week. God bless you.
You're a woman